Good morning. It's a beautiful day, a little cool, but marvelous day to be working outside, and that's where I'm headed in just a moment or two. I want to read to you this morning out of Acts chapter 9, verses 36 through 43. In Joppa, there was a disciple named Tabitha, which when translated is Dorcas, who was always doing good and helping the poor. About that time she became sick and died, and her body was washed and placed in an upstairs room. Lydia was near Joppa, so when the disciples heard that Peter was in Lydia, they sent 2 men to him and urged him, "Please come at once." Peter went with them, and when he arrived, he was taken upstairs to the room. All the widows stood around, crying and showing him the robes and other clothing that Dorcas had made while she was still with them. Peter sent them all out of the room. Then he got down on his knees and prayed. Turning towards the dead woman, he said, "Tabitha, get up." She opened her eyes, and seeing Peter, she sat up. He took her by the hand and helped her to her feet. Then he called the believers and the widows and presented her to them alive. This became known all over Joppa, and many people believed in the Lord. Peter stayed in Joppa for some time with a tanner named Simon. May God bless this reading and this hearing of His Word this morning. May He open our minds and our hearts to understand it a little more clearly today. Now, Peter was traveling around, and he was there. He was close to Joppa. And in Joppa was a woman named Tabitha. And if you look at that, it says that she was always doing good and helping the poor. She was basically a seamstress. Because we read they show him all the robes and other clothing that she had made while she was still alive. And this woman was so beloved. This woman was so needed by the church at Joppa that when she died, they washed her, cleaned her up. They put her in an upstairs room. They didn't take her to be buried. Now, with no other preparations for her body and things, no embalming, she would start smelling within a couple of days, probably sooner than that. And so all of this is happening in a rather quick. They urged him, come at once, Peter. Why? Because they wanted Peter to lay hands on her. They wanted Peter to pray over her, and they wanted Peter to bring her back to life. That's how important this woman was. And what she was known for was helping other people, helping the poor. What a tremendous way to be known. Known as one who helped others. And matter of fact, they thought it was so important, they didn't want her to go. They did not want her to die. She was that important to that church at Joppa. And to me, that's the story. Yes, Peter prayed and she came back to life, but for God, that's nothing. That's just a thought, just a thought. And she'd come back to life, But these people reached out in faith. Peter came, Peter prayed, and Tabitha was restored to life to continue helping other people. Now, what does that say to us? We need to focus on helping other people. We need to focus on the ministry. And I think when we really focus on helping other people, then we truly truly change their lives. So today, what act of random kindness can you commit? Doesn't matter who it is. Just go help someone this day. Amen.